Well, hi everyone. So, welcome once again to Conversations that Inspire Greatness. Well, I'm just waiting for a few guys to join in before we can start. If you can hear me loud and clear, please tell me where you're watching from. Today's conversation is about friends. What type of friends should you keep? So, just let me know where you're watching from. You can tag a friend, you can tag somebody you think is a potential good friend. And yes, today we are talking about friends. What type of friends should you keep? So just tell me where you're watching from. If you're watching, and tag a friend, share this so that we can get as many people as possible tuning in. So I'm waiting just for like one more minute before we can officially start. Well, this is also going to be a very brief conversation, and some of these conversations that we'll be having here are from experiences I have personally had. And for me, the reason why I started this channel was so that I could be able to share with you guys things that I personally go through, things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, or things that I have dealt with in the past. So it's about being real. It's about kushare zile vitu zenye kawaida, as in things that we go through on a normal day-to-day basis. So Mr. Wapatia textbook knowledge, no. I'm giving you what I go through on a day-to-day basis, or things I have experienced, or lessons that I have learned. So tell me where you're watching from, and we are beginning in the next 1 minute. So yes, today we are talking about friends. I see Harold, good friend of mine. Harold, good to see you. If I see some friends that are tuning in, I will be able to mention them. So don't worry if I don't mention you. If I mention you, just know that you're a good friend. Harold Bena Oluwach, how is the research on COVID-19 coming along? I know you guys are trying to work on a vaccine, and I wish you the best. Indiana, yes, I know you're watching from Indiana. Good to see you. Now I want to start officially. Tag your friends, mention them, and let us have a good conversation. 3 things I do not waste. By now you know I don't waste. Number 1, good makeup. Number 2, time. And number 3, an opportunity to have conversations that will inspire you to greatness, or conversations that will inspire you to begin to think about your life and how you can change. Now unasema uko poa, hapa niko Gikomba. Jevik, we need to meet up. How is business doing now that COVID-19 is coming to an end? So appears to be coming to an end. Tasi, good to see you. It's a dress, it's not a top. But yes, let me start now. I had a very recent incident that inspired me to talk about friendship. And the incident was one that involved going to hospital. And I remember I was being asked, so who is your next of kin? I once had a next of kin who, anyway, a lot of things happened, but now I wanted to change my next of kin. And I remember, good to see you from Mumbetsa. Good to see you. Mwenye anasema Collect Mark Anthony, good to see you. Tag your friends, share this. We want to have a nice conversation that will inspire somebody to think about the kind of friendships that we keep. So I was talking about how I had an incident very recently, and I was needed to give a next of kin. And I remember I sat down and seriously thought about it, because COVID-19 for me has given me a chance to reconnect with the kind of friends, some of the friends that I have. But unfortunately, when I was asked who would be my next of kin, I honestly could not answer. I just could not give an answer. And sadly, I could not pick from amongst the people that I thought, or rather know as friends. And for me, the question became, why is it that I could not pick on any of these people? And I think, the question of who can become your next of kin, or who is your emergency contact, is one that we really need to think about, because at that point, that is when your friendships are tested. When the question becomes, who can become your emergency contact? An emergency contact is somebody that that in case, let's say for example, you're arrested, umepelekwa pale industrial area, umepatikana kama curfew imekupata before ufike nyumbani, you're given one phone call, you're told to make one phone call. Are you sure that in your list of friends you have somebody that you can make a phone call to, and number 1, they will come and get you out of that particular mess, or they will find out somebody who can get you out of that particular mess? So I think for me, that is what got me to think about this discussion on friendships. What kind of friends do we keep? What kind of friends do we have? Can we trust them enough to the point of where we can even include them as our emergency contacts? And one thing we need to learn about an emergency contact is that an emergency contact is somebody who, let's say for example, you are in an accident, or you're in a very bad incident where, for example, you are unable to make a decision for yourself. You're either, you're in so much pain, you can't make a decision for yourself. An emergency contact is a person who you can trust so much to the extent that they can be able to stand in on behalf of yourself and speak on your behalf and make decisions on your behalf? Do you trust your friends enough to be able to give them that baton to be able to make the decisions on your behalf? Or are your friends the kind of friends who, when an incident happens, they are the very first people to betray you? So that is why I'm talking about friendships today. I'm talking about friendships because I am a product of good friendships. I'm a product of people who have invested in me, people who have seen my potential, and guys who have realized that, Ruth is somebody we can invest in, or Ruth is somebody I can work with. So I have gotten to where I am today because of friendships. And I see one of my friends, Duncan Mochama, is saying spot on. Duncan, thank you so much. I met Duncan, just a brief example of the kind of friendships I have. Now, my friend Duncan is a friend I met at Strathmore University when I was joining back in 2012. And I remember I was just a new student, and I was just a new student at Strathmore. And when I joined, Duncan Mochama was a student leader at the time, and he was running an initiative called Elimisha Stratizen. And basically what they were doing is that they were getting money from students who were unable to, gathering money from students who can be able to spare more money and giving it to students who are unable to pay their school fees. And that is how I became the very first beneficiary of that particular project. And how we became friends with Duncan Mochama is that, at the end of the day, whenever they would have activities as a student council, I would volunteer, because I had been assisted. And I'm just trying to give an example of what friendships can do to your life. So flash forward many years later, I remember I promised him that the day I would be qualified to run for student council, I would run. And what ended up happening is that I actually qualified in my first year of law school, and he was one of the first people to support me and has continuously kept on supporting me. So what kind of friendships do you have? And are you the kind of person who walks into an environment or a situation or a classroom and umemalizia tu hapo tu, I always say that everywhere that you go, there's always a predestined person that you're supposed to become friends with. So what kind of friends do you have? Allow me to read. I'm saying, lately I also got thinking very seriously about writing a will. Became very important to me during COVID-19 situation. Very, very true. Mochama, yes, you're a great friend and you have great friends. Yes, I have great friends. Some of them are the likes of Lon Felix. We then, now the group of friends we were with at student council, rather when I was a student leader, we ended up forming a small group of friends where now we support each other, we are there for each other. You guys have seen me going for weddings, you guys have seen us going for road trips. So what kind of friendships are you calculating? I always believe that any environment that God sends you to, there is someone that God has set for you to meet who will help you in one way or another, or you will help them in one way or another. Before you think about, or rather before you talk about what friends you want to have, what kind of friend are you as an individual? What kind of friend are you committing to become in every environment that you are in, or every environment that God places you in? So one thing for me that has always worked for me is that I strive very, very hard to be useful in every environment that I go to. I try to see who needs help, who needs assistance, or where can I plug in, how can I volunteer. So before you start saying, I don't have friends, I don't know who my friends are, sina marafiki wenye naweza stand na mimi vile Ruth akona mabeshte, ask yourself, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table, Good to see some friends here who've been, Sirkar Jaber. Bri Jaber is my very, very good friend. I met Bri Jaber in DOR, Daughters of Raila, and we become very, very good friends, At least now I know that nikiwa na kesi, anything that involves police work, I know that I always have a friend in Bri Jaber. So what kind of friendships are you creating, and what value are you building in the spaces that God is putting you into? That is the kind of discussion we're having today. Please share this with your friends. Tag a friend who you think needs to hear this conversation. Share this because I'd like to help, or rather I'd like to impact as many people as possible. So yes, I was talking about number one, the type of friend you should have is, number one, you should have a friend who absolutely knows all your secrets, And for me, I always say that one of the secrets to life is just live an honest life, Just live an honest life. There's nothing we are trying to prove in this world. Nobody is better than anybody. We have all sinned. So for me, one thing I usually do is that whenever I find myself in a space and I feel like I'm comfortable to speak, I talk about my past. I talk about the people I have dated without necessarily mentioning names, but I talk about the misfortunate incidents I've had, so that when things hit the fan and people are asking who is Ruth Ambogo or who are Ruth Ambogo's friends, Ruth Ambogo's friends can be able to say Ruth is consistent. You need friends who are consistent in your life, friends who can be able to vouch for you any single day bila kubadilisha story. Wanajua Ruth ni kimbelembele ama Ruth ni kichwa ngumu, and Ruth will not change. See, at today they are saying you are a good person, tomorrow they are saying you are a bad person. Today you're happy smiling with them, the next minute they're saying you are unstable, you know. Have friends who are consistent in how they know you and consistent in the account they can give on your behalf. That is number one type of friends you must have. You must have, at least in your circle, even if you are 10 friends, have that one friend mwenye akipigiwa atasema enyewe Ruth ni ukweli alifanya hivi, and she already admitted it. Consistent friends. Consistent in terms of the account they can give on your behalf, consistent in terms of how they behave around you, consistent in terms of what they know you to be. Ndio wakiona Ruth amebehave hivi wanajua yenyewe Ruth anakuanga hivyo, ama wakiona for example Obiri Kiaka amebehave hivi, they know how to handle you. Another good friend I'm seeing online right now is I'm seeing Dion Magenya, good friend from Strathmore Law School. I am happy for you. I'm happy to see how far you're going and how far God is taking you. Congratulations on your masters. Congratulations, and please reach back at me. I know you tried calling me, I couldn't get back to you, and again I forgot again to call you. But yes, the second type of friends you should have are friends who will genuinely celebrate you when you have good things happening in your life. And here I must give it up to all of you guys for celebrating me the other day when I was launching my brand. You know, it was massive. I mean, I couldn't even respond to all your messages because I was just like, you mean sometimes when you just give a word of encouragement, you're building up into somebody's life, you're jenging someone's life, you're inspiring someone. So again, I will go back to the question of what value are you bringing to the table? For me, by there, you'll think I have a lot of friends, but I have very few friends, because I always ask myself, if I am in your life, number one, be assured that you will always have conversations that inspire greatness. So for you, my question would be, what would you be bringing to that particular friendship, you know? What will you be bringing to that particular friendship? If I am celebrating you, can you celebrate me in return? So number two, I said number two, you need friends who can celebrate with you and celebrate you, you know? Celebrate you and celebrate with you the same way that you celebrate with them. Na pia usikuwe wale mabeshte wenye unangoja tu ati watu wa kucelebrate na wewe ucelebrate watu wengine. Celebrate others to be celebrated. Be a good person for people to be good to you in return. Wakili Oduol, I'll watch. I see you. I see Owino Tony, you know. I see inspiring. Oh, thank you so much. For the person who said that my dress is short, unfortunately, I don't wear very long dresses. It is just who I am. Duncan Mochama, allow me to just read what some of you guys are saying. I can see somebody saying, I'm watching from Mumbetsa. Stephen Mashua, good friend again. Stephen Mashua is a friend I met at one forum we were having, and we just became friends, you know. Before you start complaining at, oh, sina mabeshte, Ruth akona mabeshte wazuri, so and so has better friends than me, how come me sina mabeshte wako ukule juu? It is about asking yourself, are you ready to invest? That is the third type of friend you should have. Have friends who invest in you as much as you invest in them. But also be ready to invest in other people. Usikwe tu ni wewe ndio unafanywa, ma birthday parties ni wewe, ma graduation parties ni wewe, checking up, you're the one to be checked up on. What are you investing in your friendship so that people can invest in you in equal return? So I've said number one, you need friends who are consistent, can give a consistent account of who you are. Number two, I've said you need friends who can celebrate you and celebrate with you. And number three, you need friends who, what have I said? Friends who can invest in you in as much as you're investing in them. So meaning, as you are expecting from them, what are you giving in return? If you want friends who invest in you, also invest in those type of friendships. Tell me where you're watching from, tag a friend and share with a friend who might need this. Somebody saying, I am Ruth Ambogo's friend. Chicken Paradise is proud of you. God bless you, Duchess of Maragoli Shire. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, it's been a while since we spoke about chicken. Great topic, keep it up. I'm gonna keep it up. Edita Hadassah Trip, good to see the work that you're doing with women who are struggling with their fertility issues. I loved the work that you're doing. I see Lokala, Esienyi Lokala, good to see you. Now, basically, I've talked about number one, friends who will be consistent in your life, you know. Number two, friends who are gonna invest in you, but you have to also invest in them. And number three, I've talked about friends who celebrate you and celebrate with you. Number four, I'm only going to give 5 types of friendships. Number four, friends who, how do I put this? Friends who are unafraid to associate with you in your mess, you know. You don't need friends who will only just celebrate you when you're celebrating. Have friends who, when things are going down, when shit is real and things are messed up, kimedoka, kimeumana, Ruth anakuwa arrested, those are the friends who will say, I am Ruth's friend and I don't care what you're saying about her, or I am Ruth's friend and I do not care what it is you want me to say about her. She's my friend, and even if she's a mess, I am still her friend. Do you have friends who will stick with you in your messes? Personally, I make it a rule in life that if I have a friend in my life and they're going through a mess, I will not join the bandwagon that beats them. I don't beat down people who are already down, you know. Stop beating up people who are already down on the ground. And this is where I always come in and say, this thing for cyberbullying, it doesn't help anybody. So somebody, yes, they've messed up and their name is out there being tarnished. Of what value does it give you? What value do you gain by making the name even worse? You know, by saying, ata najuanga nilikuanga najua na kwanga hivyo. You know, stop beating up people who are already down. And if your friend is in a mess, they are still your friend when they're in a mess, the same way they were still your friend when they were doing okay and when life was okay. So be friends with people who can be friends with you when shit hits the fan. And this is where I appreciate the type of friends who are with me when things were going down down in my life in 2018. No, last year, 2019 January, you know, when things were going down and I was exposing a con man and people turned around the story to make it look like I was also a con woman. I had friends who stood with me during that time, and that is why for me to date, if a friend is in a mess, I stand with you. Vicky Kandaya Remulo saying, great topic, Ruth Ambogo. Thank you so much. It is important for us to discuss what type of friends are we keeping. Have friends who are not at the time enye unashine na wewe. Ukiwa kwa TV, yes, that's my girl, Duchess of Maragoli. Lakini ukiwa in a mess, mimi simjui. I don't even know who she is. Share this with your friends. Tag a friend who can be able to benefit from this conversation. And the final type of friends for today, I don't know if this is sufficient. The final type of friends for today. Have friends who pray for you and who wish you well. You know, let me tell you, sometimes friends can be your friends and they do not know what potential you have. So they look at you and they think, aka katakwa tu hapo akaja graduate. Then one day when you get a big job like this, they show their true colors. They show that they never even believed that you could actually get the job that you got. Have friends who know that anything can happen in your life any minute. That today you can be down, tomorrow you can be up. Friends who have faith, you know. Friends who pray for you. Friends who believe in you. Friends who know that 1 minute today I can be talking to Ruth Ambogo like this. The next minute she's a nominated senator and she's still my friend, you know. Have friends, exactly, for better, for worse. Have friends who are there for you for better, for worse. So tell me, what kind of friends do you have? Do you have some good friends in your life? Share with me and talk to me and tell me what kind of friends do you have in your life. Can you account for them? Can you vouch for them? And tag a friend who needs to hear this conversation. Rasto Otiendo is saying, Ruth, napenda mawaidha yako. Asanti sana. I said I don't waste 3 things. Number 1, good makeup. Number 2, time. Number 3, an opportunity to have a conversation that will make you think. Sit down and think and evaluate the type of friendships that you have. Today we are talking about friendships, and I've said there are 5 types of friends you should have. And if you don't have them, dump the ones that you have and start looking for those types of friendships. Number 1, I talked about friendships. Friends who are consistent. Number 2, I said friends who will invest in you the same way you will invest in them. Number 3, I said friends who are able to stand with you when things are good and also when things are bad, you know. I want you to not just be inspired, but to think about the kind of friendships that you're having. And for me, this time around, I'm just going to be having very short conversations that inspire you to greatness, that make you think about the friends you have. I've talked about friends who will celebrate you and celebrate with you. Friends who believe and trust that God can do marvelous things in your life. See, ati, when a big job comes, pia wanasema, oh my God, you mean you could get that job? Because God works in people's lives in different ways, you know. And before I go far, allow me to mention some of the friends that I have been very good friends with. I'm good friends with Shienze. She dresses me. This dress is from her. Shienze, this dress is from Shienze. If you need an outfit like this, it's a very nice dress. I got this from Shienze. I have good friends. For example, Married to Unique guys are my very good friends. In June, they are starting off with a very big annual sale. If you are looking for frames, awesome frames, you know, their annual sales are usually very beautiful things to attend to. You buy 1, get 2 free, you know. So check out Married to Unique if you have eye issues. I have friends who stand with me in thick and in thin. Friends like Lon Felix who've been there for me lately, you know. Have bosses who also believe in you and who also believe in your account of the story. And basically, that is all I had to say for today. So tell me, what kind of friends do you have? Are you grateful for the friendships that you have, or do you think you need to change your friends? Thank you, Karani Nelson Mutavane, for saying I am being inspired. I don't want you to just be inspired. I want you to, when this conversation ends, sit down and have a list of your friends and ask yourself, is this a friend who can stand with me? Ama ni wakukunywa tu pombe wa mlambe su peke yake? You know, COVID-19 is making us sit down and reflect and ask ourselves, are you my friend because we just go out and hang out? Or are you my friend because you can stand with me through thick and thin, you can celebrate me, you can correct me? By the way, the final part, additional, have friends who are not afraid to correct you when you're wrong. If you're in a circle of friends who always praise you, my friend, you're in the wrong type of circle of friends. So yes, guys, I did not come to waste time. Neither did I come to waste good makeup. I have other things to do. But I hope you are inspired by this conversation and can be able to think about changing your friends. Thank you for tuning in. And if you missed this, you can start from the beginning and see what we've been talking about. And share this with your friends even after the whole thing is ending. Somebody is saying, I need to revise my friends. Kavugi Andrew, good to see you. And yes, thank you once again, as I said, for sending in the congratulations that you sent in, for the good memories you gave me of how we met and how we became friends. And I hope that this channel continues to inspire you to become great people. Mtu anasema tuko na Richard, tunakusikiliza, tuko job, tunafuatilia. Asante sana. Mimi I'm working from home. My home has become my apartment, or rather my studio or my office, as I also work on other things that lazima to push economy hapa mbele pale mbele. You know, mbele nyuma lazima we have to make things run. So thank you so much for tuning in. In case you've missed the beginning, you can start afresh and tag your friends next time. Ask them to join in. Asanteni sana. I'll read your comments for like 2 minutes before I can log out. Tell me, do you have good friends or do you need to change your friends? Do you have friends you can lean on? Julius Gituro, you are late, but karibu sana to the conversation. Pinkley Akoth, you are late, karibu sana. I'm just reading off the last comments before I can leave. If you want a dress like this, as I've mentioned, you can find it at Shienze. If you want glasses like mine, Married to Unique is having a big sale from June. Hopefully COVID-19 itakuwa imeisha. Yes, Geturo, do friends exist? Yes, they do exist. They do exist. You cannot survive without friends. You can rewind this discussion after I'm done. I'm just closing off the last few minutes before I can close off and say, call it a day. Do you have friends you can lean on and can lean on you, you know? Doris, umechelewa, but you can rewind. Waruguru wa Kiai, Miss President, Nyeri County. Karibuni sana. So you guys, thank you for those who come in late. Please feel free to rewind the video and start from afresh. I was talking about friendships and I was saying we need to have 5 types of friends. Number 1, consistent friends. Number 2, friends you can lean on. Number 3, friends who will celebrate you the same way you celebrate them. Number 4, friends who invest in you the same way you invest in them. Esther McJared Nyawande, happy birthday. I saw it was your birthday. Happy birthday, Kabisa. My dress is from Shienze. She's doing amazing work, by the way. I mentioned about having friends who will stand with you when things are thick. I've also talked about friends who will have faith that God can do great things in your life. See, when God blesses you, wao ndio kwanza kushtuka. You know, they're the ones to go and say, "Huyu hapana, she did not get it the right way." So have good friends. Utariwide, yes. True friends exist, but a few. I thank God for them. Who are your friends, and can you tag them to join this conversation? Evaluate your friends, and I dare you, by the way. Nice dress though, thank you so much. For those who are rewinding, thank you for joining us. As I always say, 3 things that I don't waste. Number 1, good makeup. Number 2, time. And number 3, an opportunity to have conversations that inspire greatness. Thank you so much for coming into this particular conversation. They will be so random and inspired by things that I will think about and remember, or incidences in my life. I don't give you textbook knowledge. I give you what I experience on a day-to-day basis and things that I have overcome as a person, as a young person. So tune in next time. If you've missed out, kama umechelewa, rewind again, tutarudi tena hapa kesho or the day after tomorrow and have something even more exciting. Oh, by the way, today is my sister's birthday. My small sister anaitwa Brenda Jones. Actually, she's my big sister, Brenda Jones. It's her birthday today. Mama President Kingston. Yes, it's her birthday today, and if you can go to her account, follow her on Instagram at Brenda Jones, on Facebook Brenda Jones, and follow some of her comedy and get to be inspired by the work that she does. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye. Keep it conversations that inspire greatness.